Okay, so this is going to be a little different. This is going to be more like a introduction through media. There's a lot that you can learn about a person just by the things that they like to listen to, the things that they like to play, the things that they like to watch. So we're going to pretty much go through my VHS, DVD, and CD collection. So you can kind of get an idea of who I am, what I like, that kind of stuff. So starting off like we should with VHS. So of course we have the original Spider-Man movie, live action, of course. As you can see, it still has the sticker on it. The bonus contains the music video hero. This movie, it brings back memories, man. Look at this. This brings back some memories, doesn't it? Kirsten Dunst, Tobey Maguire. These were good times. These were different times, but they were good times. So yep. So we got Spider-Man. I move that up there. Next on the list, you already knew this was coming. So we got Dragon Ball Z. So believe it or not, this is my only Dragon Ball Z VHS. Namex End. I should do I'll do the same for Spider-Man. Bring that back out. So that you can get an idea of what the VHS looks like. Yeah. So for anybody that isn't a millennial, aka anybody that's basically a Zoomer and younger, these are what VHS tapes look like. I'm kidding. You probably already know what they look like. I'm sure you've done your research. But yeah, we had these bad boys back in the day. None of that everything digital stuff like these days. No, everything was this. Yep. Super plastic. Super rectangular, man. Yeah, this used to be it. This used to be our life. So yep, that's for Dragon Ball Z. And then we're going to do the same with Spider-Man. Man, it's been such a lot. It has literally been a lot, probably over a decade since I actually looked at this VHS tape, like taking it out of the case and all that. It has been a while. It really has been. Yeah. This is what we used to do back in the day, though. That's what we used to do. All right, so moving on from there, let's go to the next thing. Now, this is going to be a little different. This is going to be kind of like out of left field for some people. You probably won't be expecting this. But, yeah, so this is what I'm going to. I haven't watched it yet. It's still in the wrapping. Like I haven't unwrapped it yet. This is as you can see, it's still in the wrapping and all that. This is House of Mahjong. I've actually been really curious about this movie, House of Mahjong. Some of you are probably already familiar with it. I was like looking for something that was kind of like a comedy type film, and I like films in different cultures, different languages, and whatnot. This was at a time where I was trying to learn Chinese. Still am technically, because I'm interested in both Cantonese and Mandarin. So I was just looking for a little comedy, something that was interesting. This caught my eye. It looked like it got some pretty good reviews. So yeah, House of Mahjong. Like I said, I haven't even opened this up yet. It's on my list of movies to watch, so I will definitely get to it. And who knows? Maybe I'll do a review. Maybe I won't. We'll see. So there's that. And then after that, another one we got here, Two Become One. This one looked kind of interesting. It looked like an interesting little romance type movie. I thought this was, something that'd be a little cute, something that have maybe a little drama in it, whatnot. But it caught my eye. I wanted something that was kind of nice to watch. Maybe had a little story plot build up in there and whatnot. So this was something else that definitely interested in checking out. Have not watched this one yet, so it's also on my list of films that I'm going to watch later. So yep, there's that. Moving on, we have It's a Wonderful Life. Once again, I wanted another comedy. This one also looked very interesting. Haven't unpackaged yet, so it's still wrapped up, as you can see. See, It's a Wonderful Life. I think this one, along with Two Become One and House of Mahjong, I think they were all highly recommended, and it looked like they got some good reviews. So this one looks like one that I'm really going to enjoy as well. So yeah, It's a Wonderful Life. Definitely going to be watching that. I'm pretty much going to probably binge watch like all three of those. So yeah, so this one also on my to watch. All right, so now on to what I have watched. Let's start off with first one here. Night at the Museum. This one, I don't know if you call this a hood classic. It's a Ben Stiller movie. I love Ben Stiller. Who doesn't love Ben? I love Ben Stiller. So, yeah, this one's great. Ben Stiller is so funny. Night at the Museum. I don't know. It's one of those you wouldn't expect type movies, but yeah, it's great. So, Night at the Museum. There's that. Move that off to the side, and then all right. I guess we might as well. Like, how long are we gonna hold back, right? So yeah, Avatar, The Last Airbender, the complete series. So all three. Oh, I watched this. There was a point where I watched, so it's not in order right now. See, let me turn it so that it makes more sense. Okay, so I think I finished the first DVD, which is why it's like in the middle, and then I was continuing with Book 2 Earth, and then I was going to end, of course, Book 3 Fire. But yep, we have the full first season of Avatar, The Last Airbender, the box set. We saw this, I think, at a Target at the time. I was like, I'm gonna just grab it. Why not? Whatevs. All right, move that off, and then so I got this as a gift. Right, this is the Pocahontas 2-disc anniversary. I believe it's this. Was this the Blu-ray one? I think is this the Blu-ray one? It's the DVD, but is it the Blu-ray? It's the Blu-ray. Maybe it's just the DVD. I think it's just the DVD. Anyway, it's the 10th anniversary edition of Pocahontas. As you can see, still wrapped up. I've seen Pocahontas more times than I've ever cared to watch it. But so this one I just kind of have as just as a collector's type thing. Who knows? Maybe I will watch it again because I don't own the movie outside of having watched it like years and years ago, multiple times. I can probably quote like almost all the lines. I can definitely sing all of the songs. But yeah, so we got this. It's just in our collection just because we love Pocahontas. It's great. The songs now, I don't think you could get away with singing some of the songs now. Woo, it was a different time back then. It was a different time. All right, now let's go to one of my favorites, Guys and Dolls. Now, a little story. Oh yeah, this one I also have not opened yet. Still in its wrapping. Now I got this as a personal thing, and I'm about to tell you the story right now. So I'm just letting you know. So it's still sealed in the original packaging. Yep, Guys and Dolls. Yeah. So the thing with Guys and Dolls, and this, like I said, it's a personal thing for me. So in middle school, I was actually in a junior play of Guys and Dolls, Guys and Dolls Junior, as we called it, and that was the first ever stage play that I've ever been in. It felt amazing. It was like my first experience acting and singing at the same time. It was amazing. I think my character's name was Benny Southstreet. Was that? I think that's who I was. Benny Southstreet. Does it say on here? Well, Benny Southstreet. That was my character's name. It doesn't say it on here. That's fine. But I believe it's Johnny Silver, like in the credits here. I believe Johnny Silver was the original actor for Benny Southstreet. So that's who I was in the play. I hope I got the names right. And it was such an amazing experience. And ever since then, I just became a big fan of this musical. Musical. I said play. I said stage play. I meant musical. Yeah, Guys and Dolls. It is a musical. It's great. If you haven't watched it, I definitely recommend it. I also like The Music Man. There's a lot of musicals that I like. But yeah, this one is my personal favorite for the reasons that I already outlined. Yeah, it's great. All right, Move that off to the side. Next up, I guess we can do my favorite movie of all time, because why not? Did you see this coming? Did you see this coming at all? Is this a surprise to anybody? Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Castaway. Tom Hanks. Now I'm going to explain why this is my favorite movie of all time. Okay? Let me explain it to you. Okay? Let me explain Castaway. This movie will put you through emotions, and it's able to do it very simply. Like it puts you through emotions in such a simple way, and it doesn't require much at all. To be able to do that, to be able to put so much emotion into this type of film, where pretty much the vast majority of the film is basically in one setting the whole time. Like, they packed so much into this movie. It is ridiculous, and it's so good. And you still see people talking to it to this day. This is my favorite film of all time. And I've watched a lot of movies, and you're going to see during this video, there's a lot of movies. This film holds such a special place in my heart. Like, I don't even, before Castaway was my favorite film, my favorite movie before that was Donnie Darko. Donnie Darko. Jake Gyllenhaal, or Gyllenhaal. Donnie Darko to Castaway. Kind of weird, right? But this movie is insane. Now, there's going to be a lot of CDs and DVDs that you're going to see that I have taken out of like the casing. And mostly I did that because of storage reasons. Casing takes up a lot of space. So, but this, I was like, nah, I'm keeping this in the casing. And it's not like a disrespect for anything that's out of the casing, but there are certain things I'm like, nah, I got to keep it in. Anyway, this movie, if you don't have this movie, please get it. If you haven't seen it, please watch it. It's going to put you through emotions. It's so good. It's so good. And I definitely did not give any spoilers. I just let you know it's emotional. And I purposely spoke the way that I spoke so that it will, pique your curiosity so that you'll watch it and see what I mean. You'll see what I mean. It's so good. All right, I think I have rambled on about how good this movie is. It's so good. I'm sorry. I want to keep talking about it because I love this movie so much. And you're like, yo, you know how old this movie? I know how old this movie is. It's still my favorite. I have watched so many really good movies by amazing directors with amazing actors that have so much in it from every genre you could name. But this movie has still beat all of them. It has not changed since I watched it. Greatest movie of all time, in my opinion, Castaway. All right, we're done now. I just had to. I had to. All right, moving on. Put that off to the side. Let's get into. Let's finish the box set stuff, just cause All right, time for some animu. This is Innocent Venus. You know what? There aren't too many people that I've known that have talked about this. I think this is like one of those underground type anime. So this is the volume 2 box set. So with this box came volume 2, but I have obviously all three of them, and I definitely kept them in the casing as well. So as we can see here, so we have volume 1, and then volume 2, and then volume 3. So we got all of them here, volume 1, 2, and 3. This anime is great. If you haven't watched it, if you can even find it, to be honest, like I don't even think this anime is very easy to find anymore. I think it's more on the rare side, but maybe you can find it somewhere. I definitely don't think they're selling it anymore. They might be, but I don't think so. Yeah, Innocent Venus. This was my fifth favorite anime of all time in my top five. I guess technically it is still number five. Yeah, I'd say so. If anything, it would have moved up instead of down because I actually think it's that good. I mean, I own the box set, so apparently it means something to me, right? So yeah, so Innocent Venus, great, 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 great anime in my opinion. Incredibly underrated, but not too many people know about it. It wasn't, I guess, marketed that much, but I like it. If this is anime that you've seen, let me know because to me it's pretty rare. So there's that. Moving on. All right, next box set thing. Yeah, this one. Karas. The complete collection. This is a Tatsunoko classic. If you guys know, you know. But so quick story. I came from the south to the northeast. So right now I'm in Philadelphia. I love Philadelphia, by the way. I'll talk more about that later. But anyway, when I first came to Philadelphia and I met my friend group up here, the very first anime that I was shown that I had never seen before was Karas. They showed me this, were like, yo, you got to check out this anime. And I was still relatively new to anime. Technically, I had only been, well, I say relatively new, but I wasn't introduced to that many new types of anime other than what was shown on television, is what I mean. You know, like the Inuyashas and, you know, the Toonami stuff and Cartoon Network, all that stuff. So this is like, I think this was probably even my first Tatsunoko film, possibly. But yeah, when I saw this, I was like, yo, Karas is lit, bruh. Karas is lit. So this comes with the prophecy and the revelation. See if I can get them out here. Let's see, doing it with one hand's kind of a thing. All right, I think I can. Yeah, here we go. Oh, so you can see what the back of the box set thing looks like. Oh yeah. Now, the thing about Karas is it's packed full of some action that you've probably never seen before. It is spicy. It is amazing. All right, do that. So that's in order. Okay, so we got the prophecy, and then this in itself is in another wrapping, right? So like, right, you know, it's got. You can take that off here. So this is the cover, and then bam, we got it's what it looks like outside of the cover. So yeah. Whoo, Karas is amazing. It is amazing. And you know, this was also one of the first times that I started to really take notice of like the actors that they get for this. So Jay Hernandez, Matthew Lillard, Piper Parabo. I believe Piper Parabo or Parabo. I think it's Parabo. I believe she was in Coyote Ugly. Matthew Lillard was in 13 Ghosts, and I apologize, but I'm not familiar offhand of if Jay Hernandez was in a popular film back in the day. More than likely he was. I just didn't dive that much into it. I'm pretty sure I looked it up at one point, but yeah. But at least those two. Piper Parabo is going to be a very prominent female character in Karas. When you watch it, please watch it. It's really good. But yeah, this film's amazing. It's hype. It's an OVA series that was turned into a full-length film. 2 films, actually, obviously. And it's lit. It's really lit. I very much love Karas. So if you can get your hands on it, watch it. I highly recommend it. It is great. And then is it the last? I think it's going to be the last box set, at least for right now. At least for the time being. And this one is one also that has had a remake. It is Spriggan. I have the special edition box set one. As you can see, it's been through some times, some years. But yeah, Spriggan. I do not think you can find this at all / ever again. ever again. This one it's an oldie, is a classic. I got this when it was like fresh, when it was like prime. So of course we got the Spriggan soundtrack, along with the film itself. Let's get here. Let's see. I listened to the soundtrack, and soundtrack's great. Of course it is. The music's great. Everything's great. There you go. Spriggan soundtrack. And then the film itself. I have not fully watched the Netflix remake of Spriggan. I need to do that, but I have watched this because I own it. So I watched it many times and I love it. And I know there's a manga series as well before the anime came out, and I definitely need to read the manga. I've yet to do that. I have a lot of things on my backlog. That's definitely one of them. So we're going to get to that. But yes, Spriggan. It is great. If you've seen the Netflix one, I recommend watching the old one as well, so you can compare and contrast. But I think they're both great. All right, so now we're going to get down to some... we're going to get down to the rest of them. Those were all the box set and other stuff. All right, so now let's talk a little bit more about Philadelphia a little bit. So, being in Philadelphia, there are certain artists from Philadelphia that I've grown attached to from being around here. And one of those, of course, was G Love and Special Sauce. Now, this kind of ties into another story. I had a jazz phase. I had a smooth jazz phase and a blues phase, and I had a phase where I just really was into that type of music for a long time, multiple years. And yeah, so I came up to Philadelphia and I was like, bruh. Now, let's be honest. I first found out about G Love and Special Sauce around the same time that many other people did, via E-Bomb's World and certain videos like Milk and Cereal, of course. And then from there, I was like, you know what? They probably got some other music that's also just as good. But Milk and Cereal was my first, if I'm going to be honest, it was my first introduction to G Love and Special Sauce. And then after that, I was like, yo, there's got to be more music. And then I found out that they're from Philadelphia. I was like, what? Philadelphia? I got family from there. I originally came from there. So it's Philadelphia first, and then I went to Georgia and back in Philadelphia now. So yeah, G Love and Special Sauce. A night and a year, or is it a year and a night? A year and a night with G Love and Special Sauce. So yeah, this is actually one of my favorite albums of theirs. It probably is my favorite one. But you crank this on and you're in for a ride. So yeah, this is top tier music in my opinion. It is great. It is amazing. So I love G Love and Special Sauce. Their music is great. Now I know there's been some things that's been happening, over the years, things that happened with bands and people, and but hopefully they got that straightened out. I haven't really done a check yet to see if but the music's great, and that's really what we're kind of paying attention to. So, all right, so G Love and Special Sauce, put that off to the side. What are we going to do next? Oh, I know. This one's old school for all you people that are, cultured. Surf Ninjas. Ba 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 baram, and I think that's all I can get away with before I get a copyright. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Surf Ninjas, bro. Rob Schneider. Is that Leslie Nielsen? Yeah, I think Leslie Nielsen. If I'm getting the actor's name right, I think so. We'll see. But yeah, this. I guess I could say is it a hood classic? I don't know. This is a classic though, Surf Ninjas. Like if you grew up in the times of like the Three Ninjas, then you grew up in the times of Surf Ninjas, I hope. This is one of those movies where you didn't know it was going to be as good as it was going to be until you actually watched it. And then once you've seen it, you're like, yo, I like this. I mess with this. I mess with this movie. I do. Surf Ninjas. Amazing. Classic. Greatness. All right. Put that off to the side real quick. Next up, let's do a little bit of gaming. Actually, yeah. All right. First, Devil May Cry 3 for the PS2. Is there anybody that doesn't know this game? I mean, there's probably people that haven't played it, but is there anybody that doesn't know this game? Like, this game is a classic. Let's be real, it's a classic. I have seen gameplay of Devil May Cry 2. Haven't played Devil May Cry 2. I'm sure people are like, thank goodness you haven't. But it's on my list of games to play. I kind of want to play all of them. And I've seen gameplay of Devil May Cry 1, but I have not played that either. So I've only so far have played this, Devil May Cry 3. It is amazing. It is everything good that everyone has said about it and more. I love Devil May Cry 3. All right, to the side. And then next, favorite racing game of all time. Gran Turismo 2 for the PS. This was one of my first video games, my personally owned video games ever. And it was one of my first PlayStation games ever. And it was definitely my first racing game ever. If you don't count Spy Hunter, which no, Spy Hunter wasn't a racing game, but it was a car game. So, all right. First racing game, but not first car game. I guess that's safer, right? Yeah. Anyway, first racing game. It was great. You have to learn your license before you can do anything. Is amazing. It taught me that driving games can be realistic, can look really good. And to this day, the car that I was probably the most obsessed with was the Plymouth PT Spider. I think that's what it was. I think I remember that's what it was. Oh, the car is so beautiful in this game, yo. And there was simulation mode and arcade mode. This is just simulation mode right now. I think I have arcade mode, or I think I let my sister borrow it, but I have both discs for the record. So, yeah. Oh, you know what? There is one game that's missing from this whole lineup, and I'm gonna edit that in later. It'll probably be at the very, very end. But moving on. So Gran Turismo 2, great. Next movie. My favorite Muppets movie of all time, Muppet Treasure Island. If you don't agree, that's fine. You know, we can agree to disagree, but Muppet Treasure Island, in my opinion, is a masterpiece. It is the greatest Muppet movie that has ever been created or conceived in all of mankind's history. This movie changes lives. It's great. It has Tim Curry. Timothy Curry, the pirate who saved Christmas. It's an inside joke between me and my friends. But, yeah, this movie is great. Best Muppet movie. Like, it just brings a smile to your face. You just want to sing along to every single song. I've got cabin fever. Like, come on now. Muppet Treasure Island. If you know, you know. All right, moving on. Put that to the side. Oh, this movie. Yo, let me tell you about this, yo. Titan AE. This movie is wild. It is so good, and there's still people that have never seen it. Your life will be changed once you watch this movie. And it was I think it was marketed as the movie that Star Wars fans were waiting for, or something like that. Yeah, I'd say so. But it's just it's let me put it this way. Let me put it to you this way. John Leguizamo, the John Leguizamo, is in this movie. John Leguizamo. Do I need to say anything more? Do I even need to go on? When you got John Leguizamo in your movie, you already know it's going to be a hit. Yes, the same John Leguizamo that was in John Wick. The same John Leguizamo that was in other films. That John Leguizamo. Yeah, he's in Titan AE. I bet you didn't know that. Now you know. This is one of my favorite movies ever of all time. It makes me think of space. It makes me think of stars. It has an amazing soundtrack. The soundtrack is bomb, yo. And, of course, the story is also great. So, I encourage you to watch it if you haven't already. Titan AE. All right, let's go back into gaming territory. All right, this is the original PC disc of Final Fantasy: A Realm Reborn. And there's probably a good number of people that have this. As you can see there, 2010, 2013, Square Enix. So this is back in the day. Over a decade old. But yep, I still have it. This was my first experience installing something like this. It's actually my first experience with a subscription-based MMORPG. And of this caliber back in the day, that was big. Like, this was a huge deal back then. Me and my friends played. It was great. I still play it off and on. But yeah, A Realm Reborn. All right, moving on. Okay. So I actually did some editing real quick. So we're just going to go to my favorite video game of all time, Shadow Madness. This game was my first RPG and first video game period on my first PlayStation that I got for Christmas, and I believe, if I'm correct, it was 1997. I think. So this game, my favorite game of all time. It is, as you can see, it's been through some some war scars. It's been through a little time, but still there. Disc 1, still got the booklet full of all the good stuff. And then in the second part here, as was packaged, we have the demo CD for Jade Cocoon, Story of the Tamamayu. Oh yeah. So, and then of course, disc 2. So we got all the stuff here. And speaking of Jade Cocoon, while we're on the subject, let me go into my little, yeah, here we go. Jade Cocoon 2. So now we have both Jade Cocoon and Jade Cocoon 2. Now we have the full game of Jade Cocoon 2 because we were curious about it and we just bought it. We should have gotten Jade Cocoon, and we had a chance to get Jade Cocoon. We had a chance to buy Jade Cocoon for $15 at Media Play back in the day, but we decided against it because we decided instead to get a different game. But we should have gotten Jade Cocoon because it's like, it's so rare now. It's so rare and hard to find. But yeah, Shadow Madness, Jade Cocoon demo CD by Crave Entertainment, the defunct Crave. And then, of course, Jade Cocoon 2. Let's move Jade Cocoon 2 out of the way right now because, yeah, this is our game. We have played more hours in this game than every video game we've ever played that wasn't a PC MMO or MOBA. Or I'll just say any PC game, period. Out of all video games, exclusively video games that were not specifically PC based, that were just console only, and this includes handhelds as well. The combined hours of all of the video games that I've ever played, and this includes games that I've played at arcades, games that I've played at friends' and families' houses, over all of the years of my life, I have played more Shadow Madness and put more hours into this game alone than every console, including handheld console, video game, and arcade video games I've ever played my entire life. That's a lot. That's a lot of time. That's like people who've put their entire life's career hours into like World of Warcraft type of dedication. I put all that into this. That's how much this made my life complete. Shadow Madness was my life. And to this day, I still love this game. Because I still have, clearly I do, because I still have it. And I love it. We got Stinger, Windleaf, and Harv 5. Harvester Mark 5, baby. I love this game. And there's a mini game within the mini game. This is a great game. Favorite game of all time. PlayStation was dope back in the day, yo. And right there, that's where it tells you it's gonna be a 3-disc situation you got going on here. Now, when I first played this game, right, and you get to the part where you're supposed to switch disc, I didn't know that you were supposed to keep the PlayStation on, and you just open up the hatch and take the disc out and then put the other disc in and then close the hatch. I didn't know you were supposed to do that. I was like, oh wait, all right, I got to switch to disc 2. I'm used to the conventional way of doing things, which means, all right, so I'll turn the PlayStation off because I don't want to run into an error by opening it up while the game's still running, right? So I'll turn it off, and then I'll put in disc 2, and then it should pick up, right? No, I was dumb. but I didn't know. I thought it was gonna ruin the PlayStation if I opened it while the game was still, going. And apparently, no, it would have been fine. But I learned, and I tested it, and I was like, oh, I was supposed to do this the whole time because I didn't save then. I had to start all over. And anyway, Shadow Man is the greatest game ever. My favorite game of all time. All right, next up, let's go back into the world of movies real quick. Silent Hill. Yes, I think a lot of people have this movie along with Resident Evil and a couple others. Movies based on video games. I think they actually did a pretty good job with Silent Hill. Other people may be like, it was all right, but I think they actually did a pretty good job. I'll be honest. When I first saw this, I wasn't impressed as much as like later down the line when I was really paying attention to it. It's a pretty creepy, scary film. When I first saw it, I was like, it's just kind of meh. I thought it was mid at first. I really thought it was mid at first, and then I watched it and rewatched it, and it just got better and better as I rewatched it. I was like, wait a second, this is what do the kids say these days? This is a W film. I can't with the lingo these days. This film was amazing, and it still is amazing. Silent Hill is great, specifically this one. So if you have it, I think you know. But yeah, it's great. So of course it's in my collection because it's great. So there's that. And then let's get to some stuff that is probably worth a pretty penny these days, at least from the research that I looked at. Starting with Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 2. I don't know why. I don't know why specifically this game. When I looked up this game, apparently it's worth... People are selling these things for like a lot. I'm like, really? Really? I guess it depends on where you look, but I don't know. It's up there. I'm surprised. I'm not selling mine because this game is amazing, and I still want to keep it in my collection. I ain't trying to sell this. Maybe if it's like going for like thousands, I might think about it if it's thousands. But nah. Other than that, no. I had really good memories with this game. It is amazing. So that's the first one. Next one on the list. Oh, and by the way, apparently also Jade Cocoon 2 for PlayStation 2. Apparently this one's also pretty up there, pretty popular. I guess because it's more rare. I don't know. It's just what I saw online. I just like this one. Of course, I'm a big Fullmetal Alchemist fan. Fullmetal Alchemist is my favorite anime of all time, but we haven't gotten to that yet. We're going to get to that. But yeah, Fullmetal Alchemist 2, Curse of the Crimson Elixir. Great game. Of course, I need to have a Fullmetal Alchemist game. Being a Fullmetal Alchemist fan, it only made sense. I played this game to death. So fun. I loved it. So there's that one. I don't remember if this one's worth a lot or not. Maybe. I just like this because it's just one of my personal favorites. Galarian's Ash. Now, I played Galarians, and I think it was EGM2 was the magazine that I was subscribed to back in the day. EGM, Electronic Gaming Monthly, or Electronic Gamers Monthly, Electronic Gaming Monthly magazine too. So this was one of the in that magazine. Galarians, the first one, was one of the ads in there. I thought it looked so cool. I was like, wait a second, Psychic Power Kids? Holy Akira! Yeah, it seems really cool. So then I wanted to try out Galarian's Ash because, I was, for whatever reason, not able to get my hands on Galarians, which might be like a hood classic now, probably worth a lot. But I was able to get Galarian's Ash and try that out. It was okay. But after playing it for a while, I was like, you know what? I really do like this. I really like it a lot. So it's a personal favorite of mine. So it's in my collection, of course. Next up, going back into anime land. Now, maybe there's some explanations, but somebody needs to give me an explanation. So I have Blood Plus, right? Volume 1. I was only able to get my hands on a volume 1. I had planned on getting the rest of the series at some point. I didn't expect the series to be so scarce, so unbelievably difficult to find. What is up with the Blood Plus series? I finished watching the whole thing, and I watched all of it on Cartoon Network, Adult Swim. I finished the whole thing. I watched all of it. But why is it so hard? I know they don't make it anymore. I know it was kind of like in very limited uh in very limited amounts, but like, my goodness, it is hard to find the rest of these. That isn't worth like $1 million, exaggerating, but of course it's like, it's so like every time you look this up, it costs so much for like all of them, right? It's my favorite quote unquote vampire unquote series, because out of all of the ones that I've seen, it seems to make the most, I don't know, I guess the most scientific sense, like the most realistic of what I would imagine could happen, versus things like, I might as well go to the next one, Trinity Blood, right? Which Trinity Blood is my second favorite. So funny thing, my video had cut out because, yeah, my camera, which I'm recording on, the Samsunggalaxy S20 FE, by the way, it had filled up with space, so I had to take some of it off so that I could have more recording space. So now we're back. So as I was saying before, so we got Blood Plus, and then of course my second favorite quote unquote vampire anime, Trinity Blood, which we have Trinity Blood, and then we have another Trinity Blood, of course. I think I only got 2 volumes on DVD, but I have the entire series digitally, so that's fine. All right, so yeah, so we got the Trinity Blood 1, and then Trinity Blood 2. And speaking of Blood Plus, we also have Blood, the Last Vampire. Yes, this one is also a banger. Love it. Had to get it, because it's the origin. Before there was Blood Plus, there was Blood the Last Vampire. Absolutely great. Also a classic film, if you haven't seen it. So, now that we've got those out, let's go to my third favorite, since that's pretty much the next one up, is Hellsing. Of course, we have Hellsing Ultimate. We have 1, we have 2, and we have 3. Now, I only have 1, 2, and 3 right now, but I have seen the entire series. I've seen all of it. I just only have the 3 DVDs of it, the Hellsing Ultimate series. It's great. I did have also the other Hellsing anime, the non-Ultimate series, which was also good. I have no idea where that's at, but I know that I did have it. Also, I brought before the Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 2, but in addition to that, of course, we have Budokai Tenkaichi 1 as well. So while I was offloading the previous footage, I was able to get this one in here, because a lot of these are not in order. I just kind of just have them all over the place, and I'm just going through them now. But yep, we have Budokai Tenkaichi 1 as well as Budokai Tenkaichi 2, both of them bangers. So that's that. All right, let's get into some that are more what's the word? Reflective, I guess. Let's start off with oh god, because it's gonna show the camera. All right, we're gonna do this kind of at like an angle. All right, so we got Tekken 2, my favorite of all the Tekkens, the best Tekken game in my opinion. This was my origin. We were at Toys. I remember distinctly and fondly this. We were at Toys R Us. Dad was like, you can get any game up to about $20. So I was looking for games. I was like, all right, well, let's see, Tekken. All right, I've never tried a fighting game before. I mean, I've tried Street Fighter, like in arcades, but I was like, I've never tried this fighting game before. And it looked really cool. For some reason, it looked really edgy, and it seemed like something I would like. And I like the name Tekken. Tekken 2. So I looked at it, and I think at the time I also saw, like, I think I saw Tekken 1. I was like, well, I might as well just get the sequel, because, right, if it's the second one, it's probably better. So I was like, all right, Tekken 2. I think this one was, at the time, it was either $20 or $15 at Toys R Us. So I grabbed it, and I was like, whoa, this game's amazing. I spent so much freaking time. Like, this was before I had a memory card. So if I wanted to play games, I had to just like play them all the way through and never turn the PlayStation off, just like keep it paused. When we were going out for like family trips to the mall and stuff like that. I just kept the PlayStation on, turned the television off, kept it running because I didn't have a memory card and I was not about to lose progress. But of course, I always lost progress whenever I turned it off completely. But yeah, I had so many good memories with Tekken 2, so that was great. All right, back to the next reflective ones, and we can just spread these out because we'll cover more ground that way. All right, this is Full Metal Alchemist Complete Best Music CD. And we got this, and there's another one too. Full Metal Alchemist Top Best. We got this at Suncoast. Back when Suncoast was a thing. If you guys remember Suncoast, it was probably in your malls, or maybe it was a standalone outlet store or whatnot. Suncoast. It's where you got like magazines like Otaku USA, Anime Insider, New Type Magazine, and of course where you got your anime from. So I got this at Suncoast. You probably could also find this at FYE, if FYE is still around, probably is. All right, so we got the soundtrack for Fullmetal Alchemist Complete Best at the time. Great soundtrack, by the way. Next up, we got Think Like a Man. I like this movie personally. I think it's really fun. Also, well, I'm black, so, I love the movie, though. It's really good, really good. Lost in Translation. Also a great movie. I mean, come on, Scarlett Johansson, Bill Murray. Let's quit playing. It's a great movie. And, the GOAT. Simply Irresistible. Simply Irresistible. This movie, phenomenal. Sarah Michelle Gellar, quit playing around. Y'all know y'all like Simply Irresistible. All right. So I think we got the Reflecties out of the way. Next up, something that you probably weren't expecting, or maybe you were. Center Stage. Let me tell you about Center Stage. My sister got me into these movies. My sister got me into a lot of these movies, yo. Like, this was just one of them, but this is a good movie. Like, it's a dance movie, but it is hype. It's freaking hype, yo. This movie's freaking hype. Center Stage is great. And you'll like the soundtrack as well. But it's a really good movie. It's truly amazing. So I know there's some people that are all about this movie. They're like, yo, did he just bring out Center Stage? I did. And this movie, it's legit. It's legit. All right, moving on. Let's see. Let me get out another movie that my sister got me on. Here we go. My sister got me on this. Lords of Dogtown. I never thought I'd, alright, I did grow up around the skateboarding age and whatnot, at that era. And it's probably still going on, but it was really big back in the day. And, the whole surfing and longboarding thing and, I liked it to a certain extent, just like regular skateboarding and exports and all that, but I didn't like it to this extent that my sister liked it because she liked the whole surfing culture thing and whatnot. But this grew on me over time. She got me into it. She forced me to watch it. It's a good movie. It really, honestly, is a really good movie. So thank you for that, my sister. Great movie, Lords of Dogtown. If you haven't seen it, it's worth a watch. Now, I know I brought out Devil May Cry 3 earlier, the game. Excuse me. This is Devil May Cry, the anime. People are going to have probably mixed feelings about this. I wanted to at least get Volume 1 to see what it's about. Personally, I like it. I've only seen so far just the first couple episodes that are on this DVD. But I do plan on watching the rest of the series, but so far I like it. And I definitely like the ending theme song, I'll Be Your Home, by Rin Oikawa, I think? Yeah. I really like the ending theme song. Really great. But I plan on watching more of this later. But yep, Devil May Cry. Have Volume 1 of the animated series. I think it's pretty good. And also, this one's great. You guys are going to like this if you're from back in the day. Witch Hunter Robin. Are you serious? Yes. If you remember the days of Adult Swim or late Cartoon Network hours, whatever like that, yo, Witch Hunter Robin was the truth. And I know there's people that probably swear by Witch Hunter Robin like, yo. Yeah. I was only able so far to get Volume 1. I've seen a fair bit more when it was actually airing on television, but on DVD I just have Volume 1 for right now. I do also have a Witch Hunter Robin hoodie somewhere, unless I gave it to one of my sisters. But yeah, I really like this anime. Really decent, classic. Yeah. Mission Impossible 3, bro. Mission Impossible 3. This movie is amazing. So I watched this in theaters with my friends back in Atlanta, like when this first came out. Such a good freaking movie. I had to get it when it came out on DVD. It's a must have. Like, you have to have it. I actually own all of the Mission Impossibles, including 3, digitally. Because I just wanted to get like the entire set just so that I have all of it, just like I have all of the John Wicks digitally. All 4 John Wicks, but I had to get the Mission Impossibles. So yeah, I haven't even talked about my digital collections. Also, it's pretty decent. It's not the biggest. I definitely have more on DVD than I have digitally for now, but I do still have a lot digitally. But yeah, Mission Impossible 3, absolutely amazing movie. Out of all of them, I'd say this one is my personal favorite because at the time this was so freaking hype, and it's still rewatchable to this day. So, Mission Impossible 3. All right, let's get back into some music. So this, maybe you were not expecting, both Frou Frou, or Frau Frau, nah, it's Frou Frou, and Mogen Heap. So the Details album and the Speak for Yourself album, both of these albums are bangers. Like, I've listened to both of them all the way through multiple times. Favorite tracks off of them. From this one, from Speak for Yourself, it is it's it's hard to pick a favorite because all of them are so good. All right, let's do this. Let's do this one first. I think for this one, it is Goodbye for Now. I believe it's Goodbye for Now, right? And for this one, it's Walk. All right, I'm gonna edit because I need to remember what the tracks are. It has been a while since I've listened to them, but be right back. Oh my goodness. Okay, so number 1, we're back, and number 2, Lamau. So yeah, so I was off by so much on this one. So on the Details album, my favorite song is Only Got One. I said Goodbye for Now. That's from POD, I think. Payable on Death. Anyway, not Goodbye for Now. Only Got One. My favorite track off of Details album. And from Speak for Yourself, I was pretty much there. I said Walk. It's The Walk. So yeah, those are my 2 favorite songs. Only Got One and The Walk. But I like all the tracks off of both of these. So both are goated albums. Great. All right, next up, back to anime. Hellgirl. Or Jigoku no Shoujo, I believe? Yeah, so Hellgirl. I only have volume 1. This is an amazing anime. I have seen more than just the episodes that are on the disc, but is it focusing? Focus. You guys, it's Hellgirl. You say, but yeah, I've seen more episodes than what's on the disc, but I only own just this one for now, so that's that. Hellgirl. I've actually never seen Mezzo, Danger Service Agency. I got this as a gift. I haven't seen it. I think it's ecchi. if you watched it, let me know. But since we're in that territory, I think you already know what I'm about to bring out. Culture. So, Bible Black, the game. Bible Black, the animated film. And another Bible Black animated film. Let me explain. So I personally purchased Bible Black, the anime film, on DVD. My friend got me a Bible Black anime DVD as a gift, and then another friend got me the Bible Black PC game, brand new. So that's why I have this. my Bible Black collection. And yes, culture. It is a hood classic. And yeah, that's staying in the collection forever because reasons. So yeah, there's that. And now we got a little Interstellar 5555, bro. If you have this, then you've got a piece of like history. This is like golden. I don't even know if they're making these anymore. I don't even know if these are being sold anymore, other than probably like eBay or whatnot. But yeah, Interstellar 5555, the story of the secret star system. Daft Punk, basically, with anime. It's amazing. If you have it, you have it. If you've seen it, you've seen it. It is great. It is a classic. It must be in your collection. It is a must-have. All right. So now we're going to get back into a little bit more movie territory. Here's one that I should have included with the rest of the other that I showed earlier. This is Love in a Puff. It's an interesting one. I have actually watched this entire film. I did actually watch this entire film. It's a nice romantic film. It's interesting because of the whole integration with, smoking, cigarettes, things like that. But it's really cute. It's really cute. It's really romantic. I really like it. I definitely recommend this one. This one, and you can tell I watched it because unlike the other ones that were still wrapped up, this one is out of its wrapping. It's out of its casing because I did in fact watch it. I think so far I've watched it twice. It's very nice. It's very loving. I'd say that I felt... Well, I watched the Filipino film Hello, Love, Goodbye. And I'd say compared to that, I think I felt a similar way, but it was different, if you know what I mean. It felt more like, I don't know, you get a comfy vibe from this film. Hello, Love, Goodbye was kind of more on the emotional side. And this one's more on like a kind of like an older, more comfortable, mature type vibe. So I think if you're down for that, I mean, look at other reviews and whatnot, but this one's pretty decent. So Love in a Puff, I like it. I recommend it. It's pretty decent. Next up, going in a completely different area here, we have freaking The Adventures of Milo and Otis. This is a classic, man. It's a cat and dog film. You're not going to tell me you're not going to watch a cat and dog film. Of course you are. The Adventures of Milo and Otis. This is so cute. This film was so cute. Like, what can you even say? Like, this is an adorable movie. This is great to watch with friends. It's great to watch with family. Of course, it's a family film. I mean, you can watch this with anybody, pretty much. Even the boys. Or if if you're a lady and you got your girlfriends around, even the girl, it's a great film. So, Adventures of Milo and Otis. Next up, let's go into stuff that I haven't really watched. His and Her Circumstance. I got this as a gift, I believe. Both of these. I have not watched either of them. I'm familiar with what this anime is about, kind of. This is on my to-watch list. I'm going to get to it at some point. But yep, His and Her Circumstance. I feel like I'm really going to like it, so yeah, but I've not yet watched it. Let's go to more familiar territory. Inuyasha. Of course I have Inuyasha. Of course I have Inuyasha DVDs. We got these two. A Half Demon's Tears and Naraku Reborn. Now, when it comes to Inuyasha DVDs, if you were getting DVDs like I was back in the day, you know very well that sometimes you could only find certain DVDs of a certain volume. Sometimes it wasn't in order. That's why we have these random ones. And this will probably be a theme throughout other ones that I'm going to show you later on in other series. So, yeah, it's got some Inuyasha DVDs because you got to have some Inuyasha. Mouse, chew, mouse. I believe that's how the theme song goes. Mouse, chew, mouse. Something like that. Mouse, lusty ambitions. This is one of those cultured shows. If you know it, you know it. If you don't, you don't. But yeah, I have this. I have watched this, I think, every episode on here because of culture reasons. Anyway, moving on. Oh, we're getting down to some good stuff right here. Ooh, we're getting down to some good stuff. All right, here we go. Mythological detective Loki Ragnarok. Now, let me tell you, there's a lot of detective anime series out there. I haven't watched all of them yet, but from the ones that I've seen so far, my two favorite are Cased Clothes and this mythological. Let me take that back. Let me take that back. There is another one, Spiral. If you can call Spiral a detective type anime, I think it kind of is. If you guys know about Spiral, you know about Spiral, the Blade Children, you know. But yeah. So this one, this is what I have on DVD. Mythological Detective Loki Ragnarok Volume 1. It is really cool. I think you guys might like it. It's kind of cute. It's kind of weird. It's very interesting, but I vibe with it. And then I guess since I guess we should just get this out of the way just so that it's moon phase. All right, let's get down to this real quick. So this isn't what you think it is. I mean, it is what you think. It absolutely is what you think it is, but also at the same time, it's not what you think it is. There's some really cool parts in Moon Phase that are like, wow, I wasn't expecting that in this particular anime. Like, there's certain things that happen. Seiji Mido, I believe that's his name. Seiji Mido. When you meet him in the show, you'll see what I'm talking about. Homeboy is like, yeah. You'll see what I mean. But yeah, we only have volume 1 of Moon Phase. It's actually really decent. It's more decent than you think it is. Like, oh, it looks very cutesy and whatnot, bro. This anime brings some... It brings the action. Let me just tell you. All right. Next up, Gits, a.k.a. Ghost in the Shell, Sack, and we have the movie, of course. I think I have another Ghost in the Shell. Like I said, a lot of these aren't in order, so I might have another one that you're going to see later on, maybe. Or maybe that's the only one that I got. That might have been the only one that I got, and then the movie, of course. So I have seen all of Standalone Complex. I've also seen all of Second Gig. I own all of Standalone Complex. I own all of Second Gig. I have not seen Arise yet, or anything after that, which I need to do. But yeah. Goated film and goated anime series. Ghost in the Shell. Oh yeah, I also should include this actually. Ghost in the Shell is my second. I guess I should say debatable. It should be my second favorite anime of all time. Technically, it's been number 3 on my list because the number 2 slot was taken by IGPX, the Immortal Grand Prix. It's an anime that's a Toonami original that has Michelle Rodriguez as one of the voice actresses in it. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. If you look up IGPX anime, you'll see what I'm talking about. I'll have to go on a ramble about it later, but basically that has had the second place on my anime top 5 lists since inception, since the debut on Toonami that I saw it. It was something that I'd never seen before. It was completely original for its time. And yeah, so, but, the point is, what should be number 2 is Ghost in the Shell because of how much I fawn over it, how much I've seen of it, how much I love it. Oh, and I also bought the live action Ghost in the Shell movie starring Scarlett Johansson. So yeah, this should be number 2. And I think I've come to terms with the fact that I need to drop IGPX from the number 2 slot. I just need to, and I just need to make it Ghost in the Shell. So yeah, second favorite anime of all time. If I never ever watched or knew about the existence of Fullmetal Alchemist, Ghost in the Shell would be my number 1 anime of all time, number 1 series, hands down. But Fullmetal Alchemist exists, so yeah. And you know, speaking of that, I guess we should just get that out of the way. So let's just bring on the whole family here. Let's see, here we go. And all right. So first, well, no particular order. Fullmetal Alchemist, the movie, Conqueror of Shambhala. Fullmetal Alchemist, the movie again, Conqueror of Shambhala in Japanese with this special art on the cover that I got at Anime Week in Atlanta. I cannot tell you how I got it. I cannot tell you where I got it. I cannot say or no. Let me rephrase that. I cannot deny or I already messed it up. Anyway, I may have gotten it before it was officially released, or I may not have gotten it before it was officially released. Either way, statute of limitations, so it doesn't matter. All right. And then we just got various discs, various volumes. Yeah. we just have a lot of not a lot. We have this many about 8. So we got 2 movies, and then we got 5 DVD, 6 counting. Yeah, math is hard. 6 DVDs, and then Conqueror of Shambhala twice. Fully Japanese with the special art on the cover, and then the English version, Conqueror of Shambhala. So yep, that's our Fullmetal Alchemist collection, and we already saw the Curse of the Crimson Elixir, the PS2 game. So that's Fullmetal Alchemist DVDs, and of course we have the soundtrack, which you saw. I guess we should get Bleach out of the way, huh? All right, so our Bleach DVDs. Let's see here. We got a couple of these. Bleach actually before Innocent Venus. Oh yeah, Fullmetal Alchemist is our #1 anime of all time, #1 on the list. It's been #1 on the list for so long that we don't even include it on anime list anymore, because we kind of give it the classification of 0, meaning that it's so high that it's even higher than #1, so we just don't even include it. And actually, the reason why I only have those many discs is because I actually had to stop myself from getting into Fullmetal Alchemist any more than I already was, because it was turning into an addiction, because I loved it so freaking much that I just started getting into chemistry, like in general. And I got some chemistry books, and I was going on this whole thing, and I was changing my major to analytical chemistry. There's a whole thing with Fullmetal Alchemist and how it inspired me to do a lot of things, but anyway. But that's the story about that. Here's Bleach. We just have various we just have various DVDs. It's kind of the same thing. Like, we've seen the whole series, minus the Bound arc. We've seen a couple episodes of the Bound arc, but the whole regular series, before we've seen all of it except for the Bound arc. Let's just say that. Everything else we've seen. And we're up to date with the current 1,000-Year Blood War arc. We haven't, as far as the manga, we are behind in the manga a lot. We haven't read Can't For Your Own World, those things like that, so we'll get to that. But yeah, this is basically what we have for Bleach, so that's that. And we're probably going to take an edit break real quick, and then be right back. Okay, all right, and we're back. Next up on the list, let's get in here some Serial Experiments Lane. Serial Experiments Lane is an amazing anime. And so I first found out about this anime when I went to a convention in 2007. Oh, I'm going to keep that convention a secret for now. But if you live in Philadelphia, you know what that convention was. Anyway, long story short, this is an amazing anime. It's crazy. For the time that this came out, it was so ahead of its time. And to this day, it's still wild. And I still don't quite 100% understand it. That's how good it is. So it means that I'm going to have to watch it again, but it is trippy as hell. The soundtrack is amazing. It's fire. If you love Boa, well, you're going to know who Boa is if you listen to the opening, which I never skip it because it's always good. And Boa is coming out with another album soon, by the way. So if you guys are Boa fans, if you guys like Jasmine Rogers, yeah, Serial Experiments Lane. Great anime. All right. Next up, yeah. So, key animation. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. We're just gonna do it. We're just gonna do it. We're just gonna do it. Key animation. Air. So, yeah, I just have the 3 DVDs. This anime. There's a lot I can say about Air. This is a tearjerker, man. It's so good. It's so cute. It's so full of drama. This is an amazing anime. It really makes you think about things, man. It's really crazy. Like, there's so many things that you would not expect. It is wild. It is so good. And it'll bring you to tears. You have to be very, 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 like, dead inside, void of all emotion and understanding to not really get it. It's so good. So that's Air. I love it. It's amazing. Next up, back to gaming. Star Wars Jedi Power Battles. Here's the thing with this one. It's a little controversial, I guess. So my sister and me and my other sister were given the opportunity to get one game that we all had to play and share together. And I wanted Star Wars Jedi Power Battles. I think they wanted like Spice World, the Spice Girls game, which is a good game too, that rhythm game. Um, but yeah, I ended up winning out in the end. And my sister still played with me. They still, they liked it. So Jedi Power Battles is a classic game. It's great. Goated, in my opinion. I played the hell out of it. I beat it I don't know how many times. It's great. This one might not be very well known. Akuji the Heartless. Yeah, this is one of those older, kind of like on its own type games. Like a standalone. It's like, they were doing some interesting stuff back in those days, coming out with these titles. I don't know if this was a flop or not, but I think it was so unknown that yeah, nobody really knew what this game was, but I got it and it stayed in my collection. This was also one of the first games that I ever got, by the way, along with Shadow Madness. So, yep, classic. All right, down to some music again. We're gonna put two bangers right next to each other. The original Gorillaz album with Clint Eastwood in it, and Puffy Ami Umi, the Splurge album. Yeah, I did love me some Puffy Ami Umi. I ain't gonna lie, their music's great. I love it, absolutely love it. Um, my favorite album, or excuse me, album. My favorite song off of this track is probably, is it Sunday in the Park? Might be Sunday in the Park. Let me see. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's Sunday in the Park. And then believe it or not, my favorite track on all the songs on here are great. But my favorite track off of this original Gorillaz self-titled album is Tomorrow Comes Today. I've listened to that song more than any other track off of this album. Tomorrow Comes Today. It's like my personal theme song track. I don't know, there's just something about it. It's just I love the feeling. I love the I don't know, just the energy, the aura it gives me. So, yep. So these are two great albums. Definitely check them out if you haven't. Give them a listen. Ah, yes. The legend, the GOAT, Akira, the film. Along with Spriggan, Akira, it's like, which of course I think the same person worked on both of these. The original author, right? The original Akira author worked on Spriggan, or had some type of he had some type of he did stuff. He did stuff with Spriggan. But yeah, Akira, of course, this has to be in your collection. You have to have watched it. It is a great film. It is a classic. It is legendary. It is a must watch. I've seen it I don't know how many times. I finally watched it enough times to kind of understand it, because it took a lot of watch throughs to really kind of get what was going on there and all the different things happening. When you first watch it, you might not understand. You're like, what just happened? It's kind of like the first time you watch Ghost in the Shell, huh? But when you watch it enough times, then yeah, you finally get it. So yep, Akira, we got that. Next up, all right, Salty Ray, Genshiken, and Knowing to Your Other Self. So I think people are sleeping on Salty Ray hard. It's a great anime in my opinion. It's a little different, but it's a great anime. It's very cute. It's very interesting. It's got some action in there. And it's a mystery. It's a mysterious type of anime in a way. Not a detective anime, not exactly, but there's some mystery in there, and if you watch it, you'll see. At least check out a couple episodes to see if you like it. This is so funny. Knowing to Your Other Self is so freaking funny, especially if you watch the outtakes. There's outtakes on this dude. It's so freaking funny. So yeah, check that out. And then of course Genshiken. If you're a weeb otaku nerd, this will probably be like, all right, it's a must watch. Like, you got to know about Genshiken. It's one of those. It's one of those animes. So yeah, some people like it, some people don't. Some people think it's probably really boring or slow, but I like it. It's kind of like my life and my friend's life. So yeah. So that's that. Next up, we're gonna kind of do some 30 Days of Night. Probably it's in the top 5 of my favorite live action-ish type vampire movies. Actually, maybe it's my favorite. Let me think. I like Dracula 2000. I like Vampire in Brooklyn. I guess 30 Days of Night's fine. It's pretty decent. It's in there. I'd say it's in the top 3. 30 Days of Night, great film. Of course I have to have Dragon Ball Z, and of course it's Fusion Reborn. I don't think I need to explain this. It's it's Dragon Ball Z and it's Fusion Reborn. Once Fusion was introduced into the show, into the series, I think everybody kind of lost their minds like, yo, this is amazing. I can't believe they found a way to make it better. And they did. So, Fusion Reborn. So there's that. And I guess some oldies, right? So there's Beauty and Warrior. I've never watched these, by the way. My dad got me these. I've never watched these. Not yet. I know Kimba the Lion is goated, and there's something there with this and the Lion King. I think there's a little conflict there, if I remember correctly, in Beauty and Warrior. I haven't watched either of these yet. They're on my to-watch list. My dad got me these for, I think, a birthday gift. I appreciate it, of course. But yeah, I've yet to watch them. They're on the list. But I think I already kind of know about Kimba, but, we'll watch it later anyway. Next up, you guys already know. The goated. The first one, Resident Evil. Great film, amazing. You know that scene with the lasers. That's all I need to say. Goated film. Seen it a million times. It's my favorite one out of all of them, which I'm sure it's many people's favorite out of all of them. And yes, Michelle Rodriguez is in it. She's so good at all of the movies she's in my opinion, but I'm biased because I like Michelle Rodriguez. She's really decent. Great actress. All right. Next. All right. This one's going to take a little explaining. Let me explain. So I have 2 things here. I have Otaku Unite and I have Cosplay Encyclopedia. Let me explain. When you're a weeb, especially a starting out weeb, there are certain things that you're going to want to do and certain things you're interested in. I was looking for some guidance, some material, something to watch. So Otaku Unite, never been a thing, Cosplay Encyclopedia. I cosplayed, back in the day. I wanted something that was kind of more like a documentary and stuff like that. So that's the story behind those. Anyway, Dragon Ball Z Final Bout. I have this because I have this. A lot of people have this. Back in the day, I think this cost way too much money. I think this was $1,000, $800. It was a lot of money back in the day. So many people wanted this. It wasn't out in North America at the time. You had to import it, and it was worth a lot of money. And if you've seen the graphics, then you're like, wow, this is laughable. And the voice acting, even more laughable. But hey, it was a big deal back in the day. I own it. It's part of history. I think you gotta have it. Dragon Ball GT Final Bout. Great game. But, this one. Got this at my very first anime convention, which was Anime Week in Atlanta 2005. This was not the 2005 one. This is clearly 2007. All right, so I went to Anime Week in Atlanta. My first 2 Anime Week in Atlantas was 2005, that year, and 2007. I missed the one in 2006, unfortunately, so I couldn't do back-to-backs, but I went in 2005 and I went in 2007. So this is the 2007 one. And this is, in the little swag bag that they give you usually a little promo DVD for anime that are going to be coming out soon, or anime that are already out and that they want to promote. So in there, I don't know if it's focusing, but down there it says Pumpkin Scissors, Welcome to the NHK in Phoenix. I have seen Pumpkin Scissors a couple episodes. I've seen Welcome to the NHK. I think I've seen all of it, but I've seen at least most episodes, I think. And I haven't seen any of Phoenix yet. But yeah, one of those promo DVDs. All right. Next up, we got Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. Personally, my favorite Pirates of the Caribbean movie. There was a lot in this one. It was jam-packed. It was super funny. It was hilarious. A lot of the lore got explained. A lot of things were unraveled. It was great. This is an amazing film. Must watch. I had to have it in my collection, of course. I don't have the other films. I only have this one so far. But all of them are great. So So that. Madden 2001. All right, so the story behind this one is I had some options. We were at I believe it was KB Toys at the time when KB Toys was still around. No. Was this KB's Toys or was this EB? I think I'm thinking EB Games, right? The EB Game Store. Yeah, I think it was EB Games. So we were there. It was my birthday. My dad was like, "Hey, you can have any game that you want to get." I was looking at various games. It was between this and I believe it was Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 2 at the time. I really wanted Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 2, but I was like, you know what? I don't really have that many games that would be. I don't have really any sports games unless you count Gran Turismo, but I didn't have any games that I could really play with my dad, and I kind of wanted to have a game that he would kind of be interested as well, and I think he kind of wanted me to get mad in 2001, so it was kind of something that I got one so that I could have some type of like sports game in my collection because I really didn't have any, and something that he could also play that he would enjoy as well because he's more of a sports guy than I am, so kind of really got it for him more than me, but I still have it in there because it's very nostalgic. And I ended up playing it a lot more like personally, like by myself anyway, just because, football is very easy to get into. If you really like try to care about it, it's very easy to get into. So yeah, Madden 2001, it's a classic. I had to, keep it in the collection. Old as heck because it's the 2001. You see right there, Madden 2001. And I got it when it was kind of like new. So yep, there's that. So, and I can already see that my footage is about to fill up. So we're going to do another quick edit and we'll be right back to continue the show. All right, and we're back. Now, it may seem a little brighter, but that's because natural light was going down because the sun was going down, so All right, next up, we have Naruto Shippuden Narutimate XL. I believe that's the English name, Narutimate XL. We actually had this for, I think we wanted to get a Japanese game that was really fun and that was anime related, and we were really into Naruto at the time, and we played this on, I actually played this on, I think, a friend's PS2. It might have been a modded one, possibly. One that was able to play Japanese games. I wasn't sure if mine was able to or not, and at the time, I didn't think about playing it on mine. I just thought about trying it on someone who already is used to playing Japanese games on there. So, yeah, it was fun though, and I still kept it in my collection because I just really dig the game. It's really cool. I like it, and it's nice having just like a, Shippuden game in Japanese. It's pretty cool. So, yep. All right, moving on. Next up, I guess we can do some honorable mentions. So we have Xenoblade Chronicles 3D for the new Nintendo 3DS, and then we have God Eater Burst, the original on PSP, and this was the the PSP's infamous Universal Media Disc or UMD. Man, those things. I know this is more like a cartridge, but it still counts. So, yeah. All right. Next, those are just some honorable mentions. I guess this is kind of an honorable mention as well. So, in addition to the God Eater Burst, right? Oh, by the way, when we got God Eater Burst originally on PSP, it didn't come with a case, so we just had. This was the last one in all of Philadelphia. I checked. It might have even been the last one in the entire state of Pennsylvania, to be honest. But this was the last one in all of Philadelphia. I checked thoroughly. The last one. I got it at a GameStop somewhere in like South Philly-ish, and it was the very last one. I was so happy because I wanted to play this so freaking bad. And now I have the entire series on Steam. Anyway, but God Eater 2. This is the Japanese version of God Eater 2. Still in the original wrapping, in the original packaging, unopened. I keep this for collection purposes. So, yeah, we got that. All right, next up. I guess since we're in the whole things that are still wrapped. I have 2 copies of PS3 Near, and I do have a PS3. I have the PS3 Super Slim 500 gigabytes version. So we got 2 copies of Near. These are really for collection purposes, but if ever I wanted to play it, I have one to play and then one for not playing, just for collection purposes, to never be opened, basically. But right now, both of them are kind of in that status. So there's that. And then same thing with Resonance of Fate. I mean, you can play Near and Resonance of Fate pretty much on PC anyway, but yeah, it's just the PS3 versions, also fully packaged, unopened. So yep. But if I ever wanted to play it, one to play, one to collect, or to keep, in collection mode. So is that all right? Now let's get into a little rock, shall we? I have the Killswitch Engage. I have both the DVD set the world ablaze, or excuse me, set this world ablaze, and then I have the Daylight Dies album. This is like around my rock phase, hard rock. And here's the thing, I guess they're technically, are they considered metal? Are they? I guess I don't consider Killswitch Engage metal because I don't know. There's so much melody in their music that it's so beautiful that I don't really see it as metal. But I guess it is metal because there's a lot of there's metal in there. But I don't know. It's so beautiful. I feel like it's a genre of its own. But I call it rock. I guess I call it hard rock, but I guess technically it's a little more than that. Like if you played Killswitch Engage music to anybody else, they're like, oh yeah, that's absolutely freaking heavy metal. Are you crazy? But it's so beautiful. Like you get the harmony with the yelling or the shouting, the screaming, the roaring, whatever they call it. It's just so freaking beautiful. And both lead singers are stars, both of them. I like Jesse. I like Howard. Like the whole crew, everyone is great. So yeah, Killswitch Engage, one of my favorite bands of all time. I'd say, yeah, definitely in the top 5. Definitely in my top 5. So yep. Next up, my used to be favorite band, favorite English band ever. Tantric. There's a lot of controversy, I guess. Well, I don't know if we call it controversy, but Tantric. I love Tantric so freaking much, yo. Now, I was partially raised in the North, partially raised in the South. Atlanta, Georgia, and Philadelphia, where I'm at now, right? So when I was in Atlanta, was where I got introduced to Tantric. It was like, well, I got introduced to a lot of new music, a lot of new bands, right? Linkin Park, Tantric. I had a rock phase. I still love rock, of course, but Tantric had a certain vibe to them that I've never heard before, and I didn't know about Alice in Chains prior. I didn't know about what are they called? Days of the New. I didn't know about Days of the New back then either. So Tantric was like my first introduction to that particular type of sound. And if you know Tantric, like if you know their sound, if you've listened to them before, they have that particular type of that was bad, but you know what I mean? Like that harmonizing type vibe. It's so cool. It's really nice to listen to and to hear. But yeah, anyway, love Tantric. I have both albums, or I had both albums. I have both albums, but because I have them digitally, but right now I have the physical first album, Tantric. The After You Go album, I have that one too. I think I have that somewhere, somewhere. But I've listened. Obviously, I've over listened to all of them. Favorite track on here is Astounded. Back now, here's something that the real boomers, like if you're millennial or older, you guys will remember this. If you're a Zoomer, I don't think you're gonna know what I'm talking about. Back in the day, there was this thing that Yahoo had called Launch. Launch, launch, like a rocket launch. Launch played music videos back in the day, right? And Tantric were one of the bands, one of the music artist that was on launch, and they had music videos playing on there. So of course the two most popular ones from this album, especially the self-titled album, was Breakdown and Astounded. And once I saw the music video for Astounded, I was like, yo, this is my song. And I was like, this is my band. I listened to all of their music after that. I was hooked. Back when they had, I believe it was tantriconline.net, which I'm pretty sure has been defunct for a while now. I was one of the main freaking forum members on there. I think I remember like right before it shut down, they had a forum thread where they had the tantric fan of the month. And I was like, and I guess they were a little late one month. And I was like, hey, is there anyone that's going to be the tantric fan of the month? And they were like, hey, do you want it? I was like, hell yeah. And so I was I think one of the last tantric fans of the month. It was such a good time, man. It was so fun. Those were back when forums were like really super big, but yeah, they were my favorite band for the longest time. Sadly, it's like a shell of its former self. I still kind of listen to them off and on because Hugo Ferreira is still the lead man, the front man of the band, but it's not like it used to be. And all the members that used to be in the former members, aside from Hugo, they've all created a new band now. And I follow them still too. All of them. Todd Whitner. I can't remember how to. Todd Whitner. I can't remember how to say his last name. Jesse Vest. Matt Tall, I believe his name. And yeah. Those three. Because those three plus Hugo was tantric. And then there were a couple of people that came in and out, but yeah. So Jesse Vest was the bassist. Matt Tall was the drummer. Todd Whitner was the guitarist, and Hugo Ferreira was the vocalist, lead vocals of Tantric. Hugo can also play the guitar, to be fair. But yeah, they were amazing, man. Those four guys. So, all right, I've talked about them long enough. They were my favorite band for literally years or like a decade, a very long time. So, special place in my heart for Tantric, the old Tantric. I miss them. The new Tantric's still okay. There are some songs that I do like from the new one, the new setup, lineup, I guess, rather. But yeah, so that's Tantric. Moving on. Here's where it's going to get, yeah. Nobody Knows Plus. 5 MC and 1 DJ. This album's litty, bro. I'm trying to remember the reason why I got this album. Maybe is it on here? It might not be on here. Yeah. All right. I was seeing. Is there a specific track? I don't think there's a specific track on here. But basically, I was down with this band because of, well, probably Naruto. Like, let's be real here. Where Naruto Shippuden came in and Heroes Come Back came on. Like, bro, I was like, yeah. So Nobody Knows Plus. I was in New York. Story about this one. And I have a story about another one as well. Actually, I'll put it here. I'll put both of them here because it makes sense. Oh, you know what? There's another one missing from here, I think. Unless it's going to come up later. It might come up later. But there's another one missing from here, which is... No. I have it. I was about to say. Let's put all of them out here. Okay, I have them all. Woo, good thing. Def Tech, yo. All right. You guys know about Def Tech, right? Hopefully you do. All right. So, all right. Let's break it down here. So we have Nobody Knows Plus. We got Scoop on Somebody, right? And then we got Def Tech, Catch the Wave album. So I got all three of these albums at a store in New York. I do not remember what that store was called. It had so many CDs and DVDs and albums from like all over, but primarily Japan. It was an amazing store. I have no idea what it's called. If anybody remembers what it's called, it's where I got this Def Tech. It's where I got Nobody Knows Plus. It's where I got Scoop on Somebody. I keep on trying to figure out what the name of it was, and I just cannot remember for the life of me. And it also had manga there as well, if that helps. But I don't know if that's multiple stores in New York. I don't know if that's one particular store, but it had these. So yeah, so got this because I think Naruto introduced me to the band. Scoop on Somebody. I learned about them because of Bleach. and of course Def Tech. I learned about them from YouTube, just browsing. Then I heard My Way. I think that's like the song that got a lot of people into them. But yeah, this Catch the Wave. This is such a relaxing, comfortable, vibey album. Check out Def Tech if you haven't already. Check out all of them, but absolutely check out freaking Def Tech. They are amazing. And if you listen to their there's a what's that thing called? There's a YouTube channel called First crap, what is it called? First you know what it is. It's where somebody first take, I think, something like that. You can look it up. Def Tech did one. I think it's First Take because they have to do a song in one take. The first take, something like that. You can look it up. I'm forgetting the name. I'm saying it wrong, but yeah, Def Tech they do My Way live, and it's still super amazing. So anyway, but yeah, so that's these. All right, moving on. Next up, I can't help myself, man. Jason Derulo, Future History. My first Jason Derulo album, and currently my only Jason Derulo album. I really like this album. At first I got it because of Don't Want to Go Home because it's amazing because of the that track is just so good. It Girl's also good. Breathing's good. Like pretty much all of them on this album. This is a goated album. Like it's really legit. And Giving Up's really good too. I'm giving up. All right. I can't do it justice singing it, but it's a really great album. So anyway, Jason Derulo. Let's do a little comedy, shall we? So back in the day when Dane Cook was doing like his comedy sketches and whatnot, he was super funny, like super early Dane Cook, right? And of course, me and my sister loved it, so she got me onto Dane Cook, and we got these, the Want, Need, and Have. If you guys recall this, these are so funny. And like his bits back in the day it were so hilarious, and like blooper stuff, and bro, it's so freaking funny. And then the little Muppet thing, like if you go back to listen to this stuff, it is hilarious, yo. Old Dane Cook was so good. New Dane Cook, I don't know, but old Dane Cook was hilarious, yo. So, yep, those were the Want, Need, Haves. Saved. So, this is an interesting one. This movie had a very interesting star-studded cast, in my opinion. It had freaking Macaulay Culkin. It had Jenna Malone, who I loved, and is still one of my favorite actresses. She was the first actress I think that I fell in love with. I'm pretty sure. First actress that I fell in love with. And it has, if I remember correctly, it has Mandy Moore. But yeah, this is an interesting movie. I like it. It's pretty decent. There's another actress in here as well that I think was also one of my crushes, maybe. But had Jenna Malone. And of course, I told you earlier that Donnie Darko was originally my favorite movie of all time. Jenna Malone was in that too. And that's when I was first introduced to her. And yeah. So Saved. Good movie. Very interesting. Maybe watch a trailer first to see if it'll catch your interest. It's an acquired taste type movie unless you're into these types, because some people might say that it's mid. I liked it personally, but it had a lot of my favorite actresses in it and had Macaulay Culkin. So, I know people have opinions about Macaulay Culkin and things that he said and whatnot, but I'm basing it off of acting within a film in the art form. I'm not basing it off of how actors are in real life. Separate the artist from the art. Anyway. Oh, you guys are going to love this. And I can't call myself a real anime fan unless I have the freaking Fooly Cooly soundtrack. Now, this is the original soundtrack one. But yeah, these bad boys. I also got these at Sun Coast back in the day. So, yep, Fooly Cooly, had to get it. Favorite song by The Pillows, Blues Drive Monster. Blues Drive Monster. I can't do it justice singing it. I won't do it again, I promise. I'm sorry. But yeah, Blues Drive Monster is my favorite song by The Pillows. Love it to death. I believe I've seen all of Fooly Cooly because there isn't really that much of Fooly Cooly to watch. So, but yeah, Fooly Cooly's amazing. goated. I kind of have to have had these albums. I think it's kind of like in the contract to become like a real true weeb. You gotta kind of have these albums. It's like a must-have, even if you're not. It's just good music all around. The pillows are amazing. All right, next up. Now, who would I be if I didn't have the Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift? Who would I be? This movie is so good. The best of the Fast and the Furious in my opinion, but I'm biased. So of course I'm going to say that all of the movies are great, but this one in particular has a special place in my heart. Bow Wow was in it. You know, very interesting movie. I loved it. I love the soundtrack. I love the references. It was litty, and of course it was in freaking Japan, so of course. So yeah, Tokyo Drift. Goated, must have. Next up, now here's the thing. Jodie Foster is one of my favorite actresses in the world. I love her playing tough women. I love her playing those roles where she just... Jodie Foster is freaking amazing. And if people don't understand, do not sleep on Jodie Foster. Do not. This is Panic Room. Panic Room. This movie is goated. There's a star-studded cast in this movie too. I'm not going to say who. But you watch this movie, you're going to be like, what? This person is in this movie? Yes. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Watch a trailer. You can read some reviews on it, but trust me, this is a pretty good movie. I really liked it, but I'm a Jodie Foster fan, so once again, I'm biased. But if you've watched this movie before, you know, if you know, you know. But there's some key actors in here that you might take a liking to. They might do other types of things within the arts, maybe. But yeah, it's another one of those movies that has a very particular setting, and like, you know, Castaway had a very particular setting, and you know, a lot of the movie is based around that. So if those types of movies don't bother you, you know, and same with like the movie Phone Booth, you know, with Colin Farrell, like if those movies don't bother you, then this shouldn't either. But this is really good. Jodie Foster does some amazing acting. It really kind of gets your heart pounding if you really get into it. I like it. So Panic Room is a must. My favorite movie that I've seen Jodie Foster in, my favorite Jodie Foster movie, I have it, just not on DVD form, but I have it digitally, is The Brave One. She is outstanding. She is freaking amazing in that film. So check out Jodie Foster, and yeah, Panic Room. Check it out if it catches your interest. Next up, now this one might make people feel a certain kind of way. Final Fantasy, The Spirits Within, on DVD. Now hear me out here. I think this is a good movie, and if you don't, then that's your problem. But I actually like The Spirits Within. I looked at it as more of an independent type film than it being so much attached to Final Fantasy, and I think most people did. But I think on its own, it's just a really decent film, regardless of whether it has Final Fantasy in it or not. I really liked it, and I finally understood it after watching it multiple times. So, yep, Spirits Within, very decent. Next up, some more music. Seven Dust. Oh, I love Seven Dust. I really do. Best of Chapter 1, 1997 to 2004. That's 2004, right? Yeah, it's 2004. This album is so good. And my favorite Seven Dust song, I have a lot of favorite Seven Dust songs. I don't know. I really like Skeleton Song, but Enemy is also another favorite of mine. And I like Black too. So, but I'd have to say Skeleton Song. There's just something about it that always puts me in a good mood. So, yep, Seven Dust. Love them. Yeah, my sister got me on this. You Got Served. I don't know if I really need to say anything much about it. It's a classic. It's a classic, you know. B2K, Marcus Houston, Omarion, like nothing more needs to be said. You Got Served. You guys, you know. The soundtrack is legit. It is a very hype movie. It is very cool. You'll love it. Star-studded cast once again, and if nothing else, watch it for all the cool dance parts and sequences and all that. It's a very fun movie. Really good. Check out the trailers. See if you like it. All right, we're gonna get back into the anime zone. Let's start off with One Piece. Na 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 One Piece. If you know what version that is, then you know. But yep, this is One Piece. The Desert Princess and the Pirates Adventure in Alabasta. Yeah, that's what it says. Yeah. So this is the first and currently the only One Piece movie that I have. I am going to get more One Piece, but so far this is all that I've gotten, and it's amazing. I've watched it multiple times. It is great. I love One Piece. I have to catch up on a lot of it. I am still on technically the first season, but I've skipped around a lot, so I know everything that's happened, and all the other seasons is just as far as like watching it in order. I'm still in the first season, but I've skipped around so much and I've seen episodes of all this other stuff. I am completely caught up of where they're at in the story and in the manga. Yeah. But yeah, One Piece. So moving on. Next up, we're going to get into some territory of the samurai. Champloo to be exact. I only have so far, just readjusting. I only have so far just the 3. So, the Volume 3, Volume 1, Volume 5. Once again, Suncoast, whatever DVDs happen to be available at the time, we just get. So, yeah, we only had those 3 volumes at the time. That's all I got so far. But Samurai Champloo, I mean, it goes without saying, just like with Cowboy Bebop. Must-watch series, goated, amazing, new Jabes. The soundtracks is insane. Characters are amazing. Storyline is great. Samurai Champloo, freaking love it. All right, moving on. And this next one is probably going to be a series that a lot of people love. Haruhi Suzumiya. So, yep. Haruhi Suzumiya. So, we got... You know what's interesting? I always thought the 3rd volume was interesting. Because of the color. But, yeah. So, we have the first 4 Haruhi Suzumiyas. I think my friends got into it a bit earlier than I did, but yeah, once I saw like a first clip of it or whatnot, I was like, yo, I love it. I'm hooked. I didn't know anything about it beforehand, but I get into anime very easily, and the storyline was captivating. Everything about it was just amazing. I love Haruhi Suzumiya. I still have to catch up on a lot of what happened after Volume 4, which will do that, but yep, I've watched all of these multiple times over. Great series. Absolutely love it. And I'm sure a lot of you do too. It is a classic must watch. So check it out if you haven't. Haruhi Suzumiya. Next up, I think we're going to get into some... All right, this is going to be a little combination. A weird one. So we have we have Death Note Volume 1, 2, and 3. Of course, I have to have Death Note, of course, obviously. And then we have the Drake Take Care album. So I think it goes without saying, Death Note, one of the greatest animes of our time, of ever, just goated. I only have the first 3 volumes because, once again, Suncoast. Or maybe I got it at FYE. Like, some of these I got at FYE. Not all of them I got at, like, Suncoast. So I might have gotten these at FYE. And then, of course, the Drake Take Care album. My favorite Drake album. Is it really my favorite Drake album? Debatable, but it was the first Drake album that I got. This was when he was like super, 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 super hot, popular. Like, this was like the album that like really did it for a lot of people that were like trying to figure out whether or not they liked Drake. And after it, I'm pretty sure a lot of them were like, all right, I like Drake. After this album, they were like, all right, he's one of my favorite artists now. So yeah. People have, I'm sure, opinions about Drake and all that, but when it comes to his music, I guess I have to say I was a Drake hater. I was the biggest Drake hater for the longest time. I was a Drake hater like I was a Justin Bieber hater. I was a freaking hater, yo. I was one of those people. But then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna check him out. I'm gonna see what it's all about, because you know what? His music's actually not that bad. And then I became from a Drake hater bitch to like one of the biggest Drake supporters, one of the biggest Drake fans. It's so funny how that works, you know? And I'm cool with Justin Bieber too. Like, I guess time and you figure out you were just being a little bitch back then, like hating on somebody before you really know what they're capable of. And it's like, I learned from it, you know? I learned because I was like, yo, I'm down with Drake. There's still people that hate on Drake to this day, right? But I'm like, no, I've gotten over it. I should have never been that way to begin with because his music was dope and it still is. But yeah, I was a super Drake hater. It was like it's unimaginable, like compared to how I am now, where I'm like, nah, he's aight. I mean, obviously he's more than aight. He's doing his thing. He's doing his thing, and he's done his thing, to be honest. So anyway, that's enough for that. Got some Death Note and Drake. Next up, something maybe unexpected. Oh, forgot to add this in. We'll just put it in now. All right, so we got Collateral, the 2-disc set, and then this was the bonus disc from Lords of Dogtown, which I showed earlier. Collateral is a good movie. Tom Cruise and Jamie Foxx, really good movie, very suspenseful. If you haven't watched it, check out a trailer. You might enjoy it. I think it's really good. It's definitely one of my favorite movies featuring both Jamie Foxx and Tom Cruise. I think their chemistry works really well together. Some people might say it's a little mid, check out reviews for yourself. It might be okay, but I like it. So yeah, so that's in the collection and we're nearing the end. This is going to be, I believe, the very last thing. And it is air gear. So with this, the only thing that we haven't shown today as far as our top 5 is IGPX. I did talk about it, but I didn't show it yet. It's like the only thing that I don't have. I'm gonna get it, I think, digitally, if it's available digitally. It might not be actually, because I think it's also pretty rare. But I kind of want it physically. But this is number 4 on my favorite anime of all time, which I think is probably going to be bumped up to number 3, because I think I'm going to redo it to where it's actually going to make sense. Like Fullmetal Alchemist number 1, Ghost in the Shell number 2, Air Gear number 3. It used to be number 4. Innocent Venus number 4, which used to be number 5, and then I think number 5 is going to be IGPX, though I might kick it down to 6, and in 5 I might put something else like Ergo Proxy or whatnot, because I love that show. I'll put something else as number 5. Right now number 5 is vacant for my new top 5. But yeah, Air Gear used to be number 4 in my top 5 for the longest time, and it's number 3 now. And how I discovered Air Gear is interesting. So I was at my cousin's house, and I was trying to find, they have cable, so I was trying to find like anime, and it was like a weird time of the day or night, right? Like 1 a.m. or something. It was a weird time of the day or night, or maybe it was even the afternoon. I don't know. I just needed some anime. I was going through like a small withdrawal syndrome, withdrawal, right? Crisis, because I hadn't watched anime in a while, and at the time there wasn't anime on like regular cable television or whatnot for whatever reason. They had cable, but so I checked out one of their specialty channels, and like the anime only channels, and this happened to be on. It was like Air Gear. That's a weird sounding anime. I've never heard that before or seen it. So I checked it out, and it was wild. It was so freaking wild. I was like, yo, it had no filter. If you know about Air Gear, you know about Air Gear. I've cosplayed Air Gear before, but yeah. So Air Gear, we have all of everything that was been out that isn't like the special OVAs, which we have to get. I've watched the first one, I believe. I still have to watch the other ones. And I paused on the manga. I'm up to a certain point, but I have to continue the manga to really finish it. I did see the ending, I believe, because I couldn't hold myself back. Spoilers don't bother me, but because I love it. When I love a series so much, spoilers don't bother me at all. I don't really care. Like if I love the series that much, it doesn't bother me. But yeah, so we have the first 6 discs of Air Gear. I highly recommend checking out Air Gear if you haven't seen it. If it's your cup of tea, it's an great series. It's in both manga and anime form. and has, like I said, the OVAs, and it has a musical. Air Gear has a freaking Japanese musical. One of very few animes that have musicals. I know Prince of Tennis has a musical. But yeah, so yeah, and with that, I believe that's going to be, at least for now, the end of this current series. We'll probably do another one later about my manga and book collection or something else like that. But yep, so hopefully it was interesting. Hopefully you found something within the series that you own yourself, or that you've at least watched or seen, or hopefully maybe there's something new that I maybe recommended to you that maybe you'll check out, or maybe that you took interest in that you'll end up loving. But either way, thank you for watching, and like always, live peacefully and take care of yourselves. We out.